Hello FPL managers, yes, we're back again with another video for the Fantasy Premier League 2022-23 season. It's the Double Game Week 29 preview. We're going to take a quick look at how well we did in blank Game Week 28, our transfer plans, captaincy, the predicted lineups, as well as the clean sheet and scoring odds for the upcoming game week. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers as quickly as possible, so help a brother out. Click that red button. Let's get straight into business. So this is how we finished up in game week 28. As you can see, I didn't own Saka, who finished with a massive 18 points. My captain was Kane, who had 6 points, doubled up to 12. The highest point scorer, as you can see, was Martinelli with 7 points. So it wasn't a high scoring game week at all for me. A total of 38 points saw me drop from around 180k to around 250k. But I'm hoping that with game week 29 and the really huge doubles and the plans that I do have is going to have me back up close at least to that top 100k and finally breaking into that rank. So let's quickly get into the gist of the video. This is how my team is currently. We have 3 Arsenal assets as well as Harry Kane, who are the single game week players for game week 29 on this squad, and the rest of them are doublers. So if I'm going to be making transfers, I'm more than likely going to be taking out the single game week players. And one player I was 100% sure I was going to have in game week 29 is Bruno Fernandes. He's going to be doubling in game week 29, as well as another double in game week 34 and another double in game week 37. He's going to be blanking in game week 32, but I plan to free hit in game week 32, so that's not going to be a problem for me. I did juggle with the idea of building my team for game week 32 and then free hitting in game week 34, but when I thought about it and I put the plans side by side, free hitting in game week 32 and then building my team in game week 34, and placed it beside the plan to build my team for game week 32 with transfers and then free hitting in game week 34. Putting it side by side, it was clear to me that free hitting in game week 32 was going to be way more beneficial, and then I would have to build for the double in game week 34. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. And in order to have the players we're going to need for double game week 34, we're going to use our transfers between now and then in bringing players who are going to be beneficial for us in that game week, starting with Bruno. And I did think about getting in Madison, but when I checked the underlying stats, Bruno is head and shoulders above, and as well as Barnes seems to be the main goal scorer for that Leicester City team, so Bruno Fernandes comes in. Another player who I really thought about getting was Harrison, but he has a difficult fixture against Arsenal in game week 29, as well as not doubling in game week 34, so I scratched that plan, which leaves us with Mohamed Salah, who he has pretty difficult fixtures in game week 29 and 30, but a lot of FPL managers are going to ignore him because of these red fixtures and ignore the fact that bringing him in is going to be a good plan to have, especially if you don't plan to free hit in game week 34. So Salah is going to be a low owned player in game week 29, and I think Salah is going to be a very sneaky pick for this game week and moving forward. So he's the one I've decided to bring into my team alongside Bruno Fernandes. If I do bring in Bruno and Salah, I'm not gonna have enough funds left in the bank. In fact, I can't afford these two guys currently, so I'm gonna have to make another transfer, and that's gonna be a defensive transfer. Zinchenko, of course, is gonna come off because he only has a single game week in 29. So that leaves us with exactly who are we gonna bring in. Shaw cost 5.2 million, so I can't get him in, so I have to bring in an even cheaper player, even cheaper defender. So initially I thought about getting in Mings, but I think Zuma would be a better transfer to make. The West Ham defender has a double in game week 29 as well as a double in game week 34, so he is the better pick from my own assessment. So Zuma is going to come in, and of course the other reason why bringing in Zuma is going to be a good thing, because it leaves enough funds in the bank for me to get Haaland in game week 30. So if I make this transfer, I'm going to be left with 0.6 million in the bank. And the downside of this entire strategy is that I'm going to have to lose Kane in order to get in Haaland. But if it's a choice between the two, I'm going to go for Haaland. So Haaland is going to come in game week 30. So that's going to be my plan for game week 29. Bruno Fernandes, Mohamed Salah, as well as Kurt Zuma are going to come in for -8, and our team is going to look like this. We're going to be bench boosting, so every single player in our team is going to feature for game week 29. So that includes Kepa and Steele in goal. Our defense is going to be Trippier and Burn away to West Ham and on home to Manchester United. Kurt Zuma has both home fixtures against Southampton and Newcastle. We have Pinnock and Henry both away fixtures to Brighton and Manchester United. We have our midfield of Mitoma, Marsh, Fernandes, Rashford and Salah, and then our forward line is going to consist of Watkins, Tony and Harry Kane. Harry Kane being our only single game week asset. As for captaincy, last game week we went with Kane. Like I said, he had a total of 12 points, so that was a success. But in game week 29, we're going to be going for a very differential pick in Mohamed Salah, who's away to Manchester City and away to Chelsea. The highest predicted player to score points in game week 29 is Rashford at 9.8. Salah is down there at 9, but I'm confident that he's going to overperform his predicted points and probably match Rashford and even surpass him in game week 29. It's a risky pick. It's a very risky pick, especially as a lot of FPL managers are going to be going for Rashford, but I'm going to be going for Salah, and with this risky one, let's see how it turns out. Now the predicted odds for scoring and clean sheets is as follows. Rashford 64% to score in game week 29. Ferguson, if he starts, is gonna have 62% to score. Haaland, if he's fit, 60%. Isak 56% and Mitoma 52%. The clean sheet odds has Brighton at the highest with 61% chance of a clean sheet in game week 29. West Ham follows close behind, and that's why I have gone with Zuma 58%. Chelsea 58%. Manchester United, if you own Shaw, has 55% chance of keeping a clean sheet in game week 29, and Leicester closes out that top 5 list with 52% chance of a clean sheet. The predicted lineups for game week 29 has I think Haaland is going to be starting because Pep didn't exactly rule him out of the Liverpool fixture, so I expect him to start. And Bernardo Silva is going to come in for the injured Foden. The Bournemouth and Fulham game is going to have Deco-Dovo-Reed as well as Vinicius coming in for the suspended Willian and Mitrovic. As for the Arsenal and Leeds fixture, we expect that Rob Holding is going to be replacing Saliba in that defense. Partey is going to come back in. I think he's fit, and Nonto is injured, so Jack Harrison is going to start at left wing and Somerville is going to come in at right wing. The Brighton and Brentford fixture is going to see Estupiñán, Mitoma and McAllister starting these games because I don't think they have any fatigue according to the Zerbi, so they're going to start this game. The Crystal Palace and Leicester City fixture is going to see Sambi Lokonga coming back into that starting lineup for Palace, and Iverson is going to retain his place between the sticks for Leicester City. The Forest and Wolves fixture should see Emmanuel Dennis coming back into the starting lineup, and the Chelsea and Aston Villa fixture should see Reece James coming back into the lineup. Chalobah is probably going to replace the injured Fofana, and for Aston Villa, Ashley Young is going to replace the injured Matty Cash. The West Ham and Southampton fixture should see Cresswell coming in for the flagged Emerson. Sabitzer should be replacing the suspended Casemiro against Newcastle, and Pedro Porro should come in for Emerson Everton Royal versus Everton in the Everton versus Spurs fixtures. So those are the predicted lineups for the game week 29. Hope that was somehow helpful to you. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers as quickly as possible. All that's left to do is to wish you guys good luck, have fun, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.